Hello, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I want to narrate a story. It's a story about a lady called Elena. Elena was a kind woman in her early 30s. She lived in a small town by the sea. Her life seemed perfect from the outside. She had a good job as a teacher, a cozy home, and a loving husband named Mark. They had 2 young children, Lily and Tom, who brought joy to their days. But deep inside, Elena carried a heavy heart. She did not know God. She grew up in a family that never talked about faith. Church was just a building they passed on Sundays. Elena believed she could handle everything on her own. "Life is what you make it," she often said. But soon she would learn the hard way that without God, pain can eat you up from the inside. It all started 5 years ago. Elena and Mark were happy. They dreamed of growing old together. Mark worked as a fisherman, out at sea for long hours. One day, a storm hit the coast. Mark's boat got caught in it. He did not come home. The rescue team found the wreckage, but Mark was gone. Elena's world shattered. She cried for days, holding her children close. But the pain grew worse when she learned the truth. Mark had not been alone on the boat. He had been with another woman, Sarah, from the town. They had been having an affair for months. Sarah survived the storm, but she confessed everything to the police. The whole town whispered about it. Elena felt betrayed. Her husband, the man she trusted most, had lied to her. He had broken their family. At first, Elena tried to be strong. She went back to teaching, smiling for her students. But inside, anger boiled like a pot on the stove. She hated Sarah. How could she do this to me? Elena thought. She stole my husband. She ruined my life. Elena avoided Sarah in the streets. If they met by chance, Elena would glare and walk away. The bitterness grew. It affected her children. Lily, only 7, asked why Mommy was always sad. On the other hand, Tom, just 5 years old, drew pictures of a happy family that no longer existed. Elena's friends tried to help, but she pushed them away. "I don't need anyone," she said. Without God, she had no place to put her pain. It stayed inside like a poison. As months passed, the consequences showed. Elena lost weight. She could not sleep. Nightmares of the storm haunted her. At work, she snapped at her students. One day, a parent complained. The school principal called her in. "Elena, you need help," he said kindly. But Elena refused. "I'm fine," she lied. Her anger spilled over to her children. She yelled at them for small things like spilling milk or playing too loud. Lily started to cry easily. Tom became quiet, hiding in his room. Elena saw the hurt in their eyes, but she could not stop. The grudge against Sarah controlled her. She imagined ways to make Sarah suffer. "She should feel the pain I feel," Elena whispered to herself. Then one evening, Elena sat alone on the beach. The waves crashed like her thoughts. She remembered Mark's laugh, his warm hugs. Tears fell. "Why did this happen to me?" she asked the empty sky. For the first time, she wondered if there was something more, a God who could explain the hurt. But she shook her head. "No, it's all random. Life is cruel." She stood to leave when an old woman approached. Her name was Mrs. Grace, a neighbor Elena barely knew. "Hello, dear," Mrs. Grace said softly. "I see you here often. You look troubled." Elena wanted to walk away, but something in the woman's voice stopped her. They sat on the sand. Elena poured out her story, the affair, the storm, the anger. Mrs. Grace listened without judging. Then she said, "Elena, have you ever thought about forgiveness?" she asked. Elena frowned and said, "You want me to forgive? Sarah destroyed my family. She doesn't deserve it." Mrs. Grace nodded. "I know it hurts, but holding on to anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. God teaches us to forgive because He forgives us first. Elena laughed bitterly. God? Where was He when my husband died, when my heart broke? Mrs. Grace smiled sadly. God doesn't cause pain, but He can heal it. Without knowing Him, we carry burdens alone. Let me tell you my story. Mrs. Grace shared how her own husband had left her years ago for another woman. She was angry for a long time. It made her sick, lonely. Then she found God in a church service. She learned about Jesus, who forgave even those who hurt Him on the cross. Forgiveness set me free, Mrs. Grace said. It didn't change the past, but it gave me peace. And it showed my children what real strength is. Elena went home that night with mixed feelings. Mrs. Grace's words echoed in her mind. For the first time, she felt a spark of hope, but forgiveness seemed impossible. How could she let go of the pain? The next day, Elena saw Sarah in the market. Sarah looked thin, her eyes red from crying. She had lost her job after the scandal. People avoided her too. Elena felt a tug in her heart. Was this what anger did? Hurt everyone? That evening, Elena opened an old Bible her mother had given her. It was dusty, unused for far too long. She opened it and read about forgiveness. Forgive others and you will be forgiven, it said. Tears fell on the pages. God, if you're real, help me, she whispered. Days turned to weeks. Elena started going to church with Mrs. Grace. The pastor spoke about God's love, how He sent Jesus to die for our wrongs so we could be forgiven. Elena learned that not knowing God meant living in darkness where grudges ruled, but with Him light came. Forgiveness was not weakness. It was power from God. It freed the heart. One Sunday, the pastor said, "Unforgiveness chains you to the past. Forgiveness opens the door to a new future." Elena thought of her children. They deserved a happy mother, not a bitter one. The turning point came on a rainy afternoon. Elena was at home when there was a knock on the door. It was Sarah, soaking wet. "Please, can we talk?" Sarah begged. Elena's heart raced. Anger rose, but she remembered the Bible. "Come in," she said quietly. They sat in the kitchen. Sarah cried. "I'm so sorry, Elena. What I did was wrong. I loved Mark, but I hurt you most. I've lost everything too." Elena listened. Memories flooded back. Good times with Mark, the betrayal. She wanted to yell, but instead she prayed silently. "God, give me strength." Words came slowly. "Sarah, what you did broke me. I hated you for so long. It made me sick inside. My kids suffered because of my anger." Sarah nodded, tears streaming. Elena took a deep breath. "But I've learned about forgiveness. God forgives me for my own mistakes, so I forgive you." The words felt heavy, but as she said them, a weight lifted. Sarah sobbed. "Thank you. I don't deserve it." Elena hugged her. It was awkward at first, but real. In that moment, Elena felt peace. It was like a warm light filling her chest. The power of forgiveness was not just words. It healed. After that, things changed. Elena and Sarah did not become best friends, but the hate was gone. Sarah helped with the children sometimes. The town noticed. Whispers turned to respect. "Elena is strong," people said. Her children smiled more. Lily drew pictures of mommy happy again. Tom laughed freely. Elena slept better. Her health improved. At work, she was patient and kind. The principal praised her. "Whatever you're doing, keep it," he said. Elena shared her story at church. "I didn't know God before," she told the group. "I carried my pain alone. It poisoned my life. Anger made me lose joy, hurt my family. But when I met God, I learned His forgiveness. It's like a river washing away dirt. Forgiving Sarah freed me. It showed me God's power. Without him, I was lost in bitterness. With him, I have hope. People clapped, some with tears. One woman came up after. Your story touched me. I need to forgive my sister. Elena smiled. God will help you like he helped me. Years passed. Elena remarried a kind man named David, who loved God too. They raised Lily and Tom with faith. The children learned early about forgiveness. When Tom fought with a friend, Elena said, "Forgive, like God forgives you." It became their family way. Elena visited Mark's grave sometimes. She forgave him too. "I miss you, but I'm okay," she whispered. The pain was a scar, not a wound. One day, Elena sat on the beach with Mrs. Grace. "Thank you for showing me the way," Elena said. Mrs. Grace hugged her. "God used me, but you chose to forgive. That's the real power." Elena looked at the sea. Waves still crashed, but they no longer scared her. She knew God was bigger than any storm. Elena's life taught a big lesson. Not knowing God leads to holding grudges that destroy from inside. Pain grows, relationships break, joy fades, but knowing him brings the power of forgiveness. It's not easy, but it frees you. It heals hearts, mends families, and spreads light. Forgiveness is God's gift. It turns broken stories into beautiful ones. Elena's heart, once heavy, now soared. She lived fully, convinced that with God, no hurt is too deep to heal. Thank you. Hey guys. Thanks a lot. The next story is just around the corner. Please don't forget to subscribe, okay? And hit that notification bell too. Thank you all.